Hello YouTube, it's Saturday morning, 4:10 a.m. Well, I just looked at the clock on my iPhone, and it says 4:06 on the car clock, so now the car clock has got 4 minutes out of sync with the world. And what was the date again? Oh, I forgot the date. Hang on, let me pull it down. Saturday, February 11th, 2023. And in case you're wondering what happened since my last work shift on Thursday, because I forget when I last vlogged. I can't remember. It was on my way to work on Wednesday, on my way to work on Wednesday, or on my way home from work Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I don't remember when I last vlogged. I've just been laying in bed. I don't know, I feel like I got home from work at around, oh God, wow, there's a big old limo right there on the right. So I'm trying to think, so Thursday, I don't think I shot video on the way home from work Thursday morning after my shift Wednesday night. I haven't worked since then. I do recall, it's kind of coming back to me now. I recall I went I was on my way home, and I was almost home, and I got a pop-up from the Chase Bank app telling me I was overdrawn. Not like massively overdrawn, but like substantially overdrawn. Like, oh shit, better get to the bank before the start of business day and handle this shit at the ATM. So I went to the Chase ATM, the one just north of here, at Arcadia Crossing, and handled that. And I figured, since I'd actually gone into Arcadia Crossing, I may as well hit Fry's. Not that I really needed anything from Fry's, but I like going in there like 6 in the morning, because at that point it's probably about 6:15 in the morning, I'm gonna guess. And the store opens at 6 a.m. and I found that if I go in and I shop at between 6 and 7 in the morning, I get first dibs at like the best clearance items, particularly in the bakery clearance area and in the deli clearance area. Anyway, I got some kind of like gourmet, like soft, spreadable salami type roll for a couple of bucks that normally is like $7. Which I haven't opened that yet. I figured I'll bring that with me to work tomorrow night and eat that with some crackers. Also got another thing of, I got a little wedge of some kind of high dollar cheese. That's kind of become like one of my guilty pleasures when I can get it. And I'll look at the price and I'm like, holy shit, they marked this way down. And it's still kind of expensive, you know, paying $2 to $3 for a little tiny chunk of cheese, but I don't know, it's just one of those small indulgences I've grown to really enjoy. And it's something that's easy to eat on one of my 15-minute work breaks, where I can just spread out some paper towels on the floor where I usually have my break, in front of the south side break room, and just, you know, slice it with a plastic knife that I can get at work, and put it on the crackers, you know, bring those. That's a nice, easy, and really good, you know, something better than just the usual crap that I eat on my breaks. So anyway, I got that, and then I sat down also I had to go to the bathroom so bad, and thank God, like that Fry's actually has public restrooms, and normally you need a code to get in, but for some reason during that time of the morning they leave it completely open. I think because the riffraff just isn't awake at that time of day. I think that's the deal with that. But wow, just passing Circle K, which reminds me, it's definitely been well over a month since my Sip and Save that didn't work expired. I've been seriously thinking about renewing that, making sure I put because I never did find the receipt for the one that I wasn't able to really make much use of, but make sure that I put the receipt someplace really boldly on display in my car. That way, if I have an issue with it, like the next day, like I did last time, where they're like, "Oh, it says here that that yours is expired. You need to purchase it again." Motherfucker, I purchased it yesterday. Motherfucker, I purchased it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days. After 5 days, it's just like, okay, this routine isn't fun anymore. I do think I want to when I just need to make sure that I have that receipt ready, because I expect that's going to happen again. And maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion, because I feel like I did Sip and Save for the better part of a year over that. I mean, I only stopped doing it when I was riding the bus all the time, and I found that often the bus just didn't get me at places where I could stop at a Circle K without taking an inconvenient trip out of my way. And also, you can't bring fountain drinks on a bus. But once I got back to driving, like, it was only that one month I had a problem with it, but it really did leave a proverbial bad taste in my mouth. It was a bad, very negative experience for me. But yeah, I'm thinking I should try it again. I mean, it's only once out of many months that I did it, and I think if I make an effort to put the receipt in a handy place, I will lose it again. Anyway, I got home Thursday morning, probably 7 a.m. I'm guessing. Oh, so anyway, went to the bathroom at Fry's, then went to. I sat down. I was trying to. So I should mention this. This is a big deal. During my shift Wednesday night, right as I was headed to lunch, I dropped my Obama phone. Now, I've shown you the screen of my Obama phone was pretty screwed anyway, but it did still work. Well, I dropped my Obama phone getting out of the forklift. There's a spot where I keep them in the forklift, and there's a spot where I keep them in the forklift, and where I keep them. It was at the recommendation of the guy who did my forklift training the first time around, because it's a Class 1 offense, fireable offense, to be caught using a smartphone while you're on a forklift. And it used to be when I was working it, I always put them in my back pocket. But when you're on the Amazon forklifts, they're stand-up forklifts, and whenever you're operating, you're supposed to maintain 3 points of contact. And those 3 points of contact are actually, 5 points of contact. And those points of contact are both of your feet, which go on pedals that you don't actually use for operating it. Just your feet need to be on each pedal in order to activate the forklift. One of them, if your foot raises off of it, is an emergency brake, which just stops and locks it in place, kind of abruptly, I might add. And then the other one is I overshot where I was going. Whoops. Oh, and the person who's waiting for me just sent me a message. I'll explain that later, or maybe I won't. I don't know if I'm ready to come out of that closet yet. Anyway, so the what was I saying? What do you call it? So yeah, the other one I think is it's called, they call it the dead man pedal, I think. And the way it works is basically your foot needs to be on it in order to activate the controls. So one is an e-brake if your foot gets off it. The other one just basically is like a switch to sense that you're there. Otherwise, you can't operate it. So that's 2 points of contact. The other one is left hand and right hand on the right hand on the joystick, which is the main control, and then the left hand on the wheel, which is kind of like a steering wheel, although radically different. And I don't think this is a good time to explain that, but just anyway. So one hand on the wheel, one hand on the joystick, and the 5th point of contact is your ass. Yes, there's a pad that's in the back of the stand-up area, and your ass, your back, primarily your ass, is supposed to make contact with that. Gives you stability in the whoa, guy on a bike with no lights. It's amazing that that's not legally required, because it is a real hazard the way people ride their bikes and can't be seen at night. Had that guy rolled in front of me, I would have probably hit him. Like, by the time I saw him, he was, dark. Meanwhile, when I ride a bike, I don't ever have lights, so I guess I'm a walking hypocrite on that. But I haven't rode a bike in forever. And at this point, I think if it was to ride a bike, I would probably make an effort to get myself a light. I kind of feel so strongly about that now, a lot more than I did before when I used to bike all the time in the dark with no light. Well, I've been by a house that I went to, what was it, 2 weeks ago over here? Kind of crazy that both of my places are in the same neighborhood here. Anyway, where was I? Anyway, so I noticed, like, when I did my practical training, like the very first day I operated a forklift, did my practical training, that having my phones in my back pocket was putting, like, not good pressure on them, where I put my ass, as I'm supposed to, in the 5 points of contact into the back of the forklift. And so when I finished that practical training, and the Angel who did it was Mikhail who did my practical training, but Angel was the one who taught the class, the forklift class. And when he came back, I mentioned it to him that, hey, generally speaking, I keep my... Now, I had already kind of found the spot that I put it in. I'd already found that. I'd already found... It's so dark today. I'd already found that in the spot where I put it. I'm not really sure what that spot's supposed to be. There's an indentation, like, right in the front to the left of the joystick or behind the joystick, that is the perfect shape for putting a phone in. And what I did is I put my Obama phone face down, put my iPhone face down on top of it, and I figured, well, as long as, like, they've got supposedly 4K surveillance cameras all over the building in Amazon, I'm thinking, well, if there's ever an incident and they're wondering, well, was him using his phone contributing to the accident, they can look and see that, yes, I did put my phones in the forklift, but they're face down. So I can maybe hear an alert, but I can't even be tempted to look down at the screen while I'm operating the forklift. Not even visible. So not a factor, not potentially a distraction. No, there should be no question, was I operating my phone? No, the screen's right there. You can see where the phone is. Screen's facing down. Anyway, I'd mentioned it to Angel. I forgot his name. Angel, who did the practical, or who did my book training, when he came to kind of review me and give me, like, another kind of quiz of sorts to certify me as a forklift driver the first time for Amazon. And he's like, and I explained my logic, and that's why I did that. Because at first he seemed a little leery on the thought of cell phones on the pit whatsoever. And then when I kind of explained to him, it's like, look, in putting it in my back pocket, I'm worried that I'm going to put pressure against it and crack my screen. And otherwise, like, it's kind of it stops my fifth point of contact, my ass on the back panel there, from being a good solid point of contact. So that's a problem. And then the other problem is that I don't feel comfortable just laying it down somewhere where somebody might potentially steal it. My phones are kind of my life. So it's the best I could think of, because there's, and as I explained, there's just the thing about the surveillance, whatever. It's like, it's clearly I'm not using it. It's not even, there's any question if an incident happens, they can look, they can see faces down. And he's like, actually, that's pretty good. Yeah. Like, at first I could tell he wasn't on board with it, because he was just bothered with the thought of that. But then when I kind of explained everything, he was just like, yeah, that's good. And that's how I've done it ever since. And I actually had a safety guy, the one that's been encouraging me to be in ASC, but then of course I started onboarding ASC people and not been choosing me. Go figure. And I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyway, yeah, I thought I was remembering his name, but his name just escapes me. Anyway, at first he kind of questioned that, and then I explained the whole thing to him, and he actually, again, like I seemed to change his mind on it too. He's like, actually, that's pretty good. So, and then I also explained to him, like, occasionally how I use it as a tool when there's a, discrepancy in the numbers on the screen, on the manifest or whatever, where I'll crunch numbers, or I'm trying to figure out like how many pallets are in the trailer and how many received pallets I have and how many more UPP pallets I can load before I have to tie it off and go with that. Sometimes it helps to have a calculator for that. And or figuring pounds in the trailer. Like, sometimes I just need the calculator. And he was like, okay, that makes sense too. And I do occasionally, even though it's kind of weird, like I'm a real fringe thing on whether it's violating policy or not, because theoretically, like, policy as posted is that no tier 1 is supposed to be taking pictures, but I've often in leadership and safety are both aware of it, that I've often taken pictures when there's something that is an issue, so I can show leadership, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, do you want to come back and check it out, or blah blah blah. As they say, a picture says 1,000 words. And so I occasionally use that, again, not taking, it's not social media posterity, but I'm just taking these pictures just to kind of show things at work, like things that are wrong, or hey, this label doesn't seem right. This is, especially if I'm not going to remember a number and I need numbers and labels on a giant pallet, it's like easier to just take that picture, show the picture or whatever. Anyway, I'm at my destination, so I should wrap this up. I got somebody who's like waiting for me to message him, but and I forget what I was trying to say. Oh, Obama phone got destroyed. So I was pulling him out of that spot as I was heading to lunch. The Obama phone slipped out of my hand, landed face down on the floor. I'm thinking, well, glad it wasn't the iPhone, because this screen is already screwed. And then once I got to the break room to look at it, it's no longer operational whatsoever. I can go into detail about how screwed it is, but the bottom line is I can barely see what's on the screen because it's all kinds of crazy glitchy now, and it's not sensing finger touches at all. I can't unlock it. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So far I haven't done anything about that. So it's just me and this iPhone 7 Plus now until I can take some time to take care of that. I really should have done that on Thursday. Really should have done that on Friday. So I both, none of the time. I was just so depressed. I stayed at home. I do want to explain why I was depressed. It kind of has a lot to do with why I'm here. But in the meantime, I'm here and somebody's waiting for me. So I'll be back later.